Okay, so first of all, thank you for being here. I just wanted to get into this a little bit because I was just doing this reading. I actually thought, hey, let me go ahead. I've been resting all day. I participated in a trail race yesterday, and lately it's just been really the physical efforts that I've put out have been very mentally taxing. So I'm not really so much resting my body as I am resting my mind and my spirit once I've done those big push things. But I rested and I was coming to do the tarot reading, but I like to kind of try and feel into it before, basically, I'll do my own reading beforehand so that I'm not being, wanting to make sure that I'm not being biased about the collective reading. So I want to get that out of the way. However, it just looks like Spirit was just like, shoom. And I wanted to just walk through this reading without any kind of pretense or anything like that. But yeah, it's just... So it's so interesting because as I was going through, and of course I pull up my helper cards when it comes to the major arcana, just kind of really just trying to connect with the astrology. So we are in the midst, we're just leaving, not just leaving, but we are between two eclipses. So we've got we had the new moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio almost 2 weeks ago. And in a couple of days, we're going to have the full moon solar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. Now, we're not quite there yet, but I will say, the reason that it's been coming up so harsh, I think, for me, is because I have a lot of very key planets in the signs and in the houses that will be in the signs that will be affected. So, but most importantly, and this is just for me, but I'm hoping in sharing my experience that you also get something out of it. My rising is Scorpio and my sun is in Taurus. So we are right now, not even just right now, but we have just, we're kind of on the tail end of this year being the year that Taurus has been in the North Node and Scorpio in the South Node. So for a person like me, it's just kind of trying to find the balance between the two. And of course, it's this kind of, everybody thinks of their sun sign when someone asks, what's your sign? But a lot of people don't think about, okay, what sign is the sun sign in, or what is your rising sign, your ascendant sign, because that could be how you're perceived, how people see you on the outside. So, and the sun sign is really just it could be a little bit of personality, but again, don't take my word for gospel, because again, I'm learning, and as I'm learning, I like to kind of pass on the information for your knowledge and growth, or whatever, however it helps you, So, as far as this reading, we've got, we've got the full moon solar eclipse coming up on Tuesday. Now, for me, this time last year, the eclipse happened, and I was like, because first of all, when everybody's talking about, oh, this eclipse season is going to, and this, I'm talking about last eclipse season, everybody's like, oh, the eclipse, it's going to be really rough, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whatever. And then 2 days later, world is completely rocked, world falls apart. And by the time the December 4th eclipse came around, I was just like, this is a doorway, this is an exit, I'm just going to take it. And I took it. I left, right? I left because I was just like, there's just no more here. And there's clearly no, it was an issue. So, but it was very clearly, you know, spirit, universe, just basically like, look, and I looked at it as in this way. Spirit was saying, look, we are trying to help you out here. We are trying to get you out of this. And we understand that you have free will, right? And again, you know, your mileage may vary based on your chart, right? But at that time, I recognized the messages that I was getting, and I understood that my spiritual path and my spiritual journey would be greatly affected if I continued to be where I was and trying to be where I was as well. So I understood the assignment, and I left. I walked through the open door that Spirit had just like, look, here's the exit. And I said, thank you. And I walked out. So that's where I am. Okay, so let's take a look. This reading came up and it shows the moon in reverse. We've got the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. And then we've got the 8 of Wands upright. What does this mean? So, for me, when I do readings like this, and if you follow along, to me, the bottom card is basically like the overarching message to this layout here, where we don't quite know how we're going to get there, even if we've got these cards out, but we know what the theme is. You know, and it doesn't always end up being a major arcana card. Okay, so the first card out, and again, sometimes I read this like a story, where it's like, okay, this is where the story started, this is the beginning of the story, this is maybe the climax of the story, right? This is where things might be a clue for you that this is the journey of your story. And then this is also the underlying theme that we need to connect with in order to help us guide ourselves through this story and be well and you know, connect with Spirit, etc., etc. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the moon in reverse. Now, upright, the moon is all about chaos. It's all about confusion and weirdness, and it's all about just, you know, not knowing which path to take or which way to go, but everything you're doing is being done in the darkness. It's being done, it's being done in the darkness, but it's being done by the light of the moon, right? So it's not necessarily darkness, but it is being done at night, right? And so for me, and intuitively, because intuitively the message is always different for me, but the moon in reverse here, I believe, is really looking at the nighttime and this moon energy and saying the moon can also be out in the daytime. So it could also, there's this, a mixture of things, of bringing the shadow to the light. A secret comes to light, something that we tried to, you know, something that was done in moonlight is now being done in the sun, right? It's being done by the light of day. This is a solar eclipse that's happening, a full solar eclipse, full moon solar eclipse that's happening. So something that has been done by the light of the moon is now being brought to the light. And you might have seen in a whole lot of the news and things like that, where, you know, secrets have come forth, things that were like wanting to be hidden are now being brought to light. And I think that's what's happening now. This is not just my This is, and that's why I was like, I have to share this, because I don't think this is my personal reading. I think Spirit was like, no, this is everybody's reading. I was like, oh, okay. So I jumped in to just record. And this is actually no longer rejecting something that was done in the night, right? It's no longer, there's no rejection, but there's also here a firming up of boundaries. There's some decisiveness here when the moon card is in the reverse. And the moon card came out. We've got a full moon eclipse, solar eclipse that's happening, and this moon card is in the reverse. So, this is about, this could be about release, escape. It could be about, Mercury is at the south node. Okay. Well, look at that. Mercury is at the south node. Mercury is in Scorpio right now. So messages could be coming about transformation, right? And that was the notification I just got on my watch, was reminding me that Mercury is now in Scorpio, and we have the death card at the bottom of the deck here, and the death card is connected to the sign of Scorpio. So there is messaging coming forth that is going to be really life-changing, really, really life-changing, like new beginning, transformation. And it's going to be like, do you have your boundaries ready, right? Is your house prepared for this change, right? Is everybody on board? Or, it's just kind of like this really big change that's coming in. We've got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse here. Now, ordinarily, with this Nine of Pentacles in reverse, I would see this as someone losing their sense of independence. But instead, intuitively, what I'm sensing is, and please, again, if I'm saying something that's out of turn or that doesn't resonate, please don't really, like, if you're not engaged on the spiritual level and don't understand what I'm talking about, that's fine too. But just try not to make it apply on try not to make it apply in your waking life. Look at it from a spiritual level, right? So with this Nine of Pentacles in reverse, I feel as if someone is not so much losing their independence as it is they are wanting to connect in such a way. It's almost like making an investment here, this Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Because upright, the Nine of Pentacles is all about independence, flourishing, like, I don't need you, hyper independence, blah, blah, blah. I don't need you. I don't need your money because I got my own. Someone who's minding the bag, blah, blah, blah. But again, let's look at it from a spiritual perspective. This is about energy. So this Nine of Pentacles in reverse, it's saying, I'm ready to invest. I'm ready to take a really well thought out gamble and put my money on something. And kind of, it's like putting your chips on the table. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're putting your chips on the table and you're saying, look, what are you going to do? Right? What would you like to do? Because it's like you're saying, I'm putting all my chips in. I'm in it. Right? Now here we've got the Eight of Wands. Now, and the other thing too is the way that I'm looking at this is that this Nine of Pentacles in reverse is where you are right now with whatever it is that you're thinking of joining, right? Or joining with, or merging with, right? And it's kind of like you put the question out there. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do now? What are you going to do? And so this Eight of Wands here, this absolutely is about making very, very slow, to me, this is slow movement. In this particular deck, normally the Eight of Wands would be something coming in swiftly from Spirit and saying, like, we've got messages for you, we've got messages of action for you. You know, something it's coming in. But because of this particular card, this Eight of Wands, in this particular deck means there's an answer coming. And it's almost as if, like, you've been praying and praying and praying and praying and praying for this. And it's like, you know, the fact that you're really just concentrating on, like, let's put it this way. Let's put it in this context. This could have been something that you've been praying about for 8 years. 8 years. And every year it's like Spirit heard you and just kind of like, yeah, and I'm not saying this is what they did, but if you use your imagination, this is probably what you think they did because of this card, right? It's as if you prayed for 8 years, I wish, 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 right? And Spirit said for 8 years, every year, you know, I'm just gonna put that wand, you know, I know that sounds impulsive, but I'm just gonna put that on the shelf, right? I'm just gonna put that on the back burner. I'm just gonna put that wand, you know, just back here. And, you know, eventually Spirit decided to answer, and they sent the answer in a time frame where you were not expecting it. After you had spent so much time asking for it, praying for it, wishing for it, hoping for it, and here it is, out of the blue, willy-nilly, right? Because you put your cards on the table, because you put all your chips on the table and you said, I'm ready. I'm ready. This is what I want to do. And it's not so much that you're giving up your independence. You are understanding that you want to merge. And you understand there's a little bit of risk here. There's a vulnerability here because this is your coins you're talking about. And when I say your coins, I'm not just talking about your job, your money. I mean, this could be something that's related to those things, right? This could be something that's related to those things. This could be something that will maybe make you rethink your job, make you want to, because I'm seeing this Eight of Wands, this could be you moving. This could be you studying something. Whatever it is, it's you know, it's something related to how you support yourself in this world, how your talents, all of that. Okay, so let's take a look at the Death card then, because overall, and let's keep in mind that we got that notification that Mercury is in Scorpio. So this could be about things from you know, the underworld, things from maybe your dreams, things from yeah, this is I just really think that this is really, really, really quick transformation and change that's coming in. And even though it looks quick in the moment, it's like it's all happening. It's just seeming like it's happening all at once, even though this is like a culmination of the things that you've been asking for. And I'm just using this as an example, but it could be true. You know, these are things that you've been asking for years, and you just thought, again, I'm just giving some sort of context here. This could be something that you've asked for years, and you just thought, maybe it's not for me. Maybe, you know, Spirit just kind of was just teasing me with this, or maybe I'm on the wrong track. Maybe I've lost faith. Maybe I've lost connection even to Spirit. But you held on to some sort of faith, and you're here. This is you acting in faith, putting your coins on the table, putting it all on the line, and Spirit is finally answering, and it's going to happen quickly. There's going to be a new beginning that happens very quickly. Y'all, I kind of hesitate to bring out any other cards because I just, this reading was just like, what? I do want to look at, because this is going to be a full moon in Taurus, I'm going to bring out the Hierophant card, the Helper card, just to kind of get a feel like, what could this be? My Hierophant Helper card says that the Hierophant, and this is just, you know, I keep adding to this card as I learn more and more, but let's talk about the sign of Taurus. The sign of Taurus is connected to, Taurus is ruled by, I believe it's Venus. And so Venus is all about, you know, when we think of Venus, we think of love, we think of beauty, we think of art, we think of, and as a Taurus, I think of taste, I think of my senses, right? I think of touch and feel. As someone who is neurodivergent, you know, I think about, as soon as I start thinking about my senses, everything just becomes alive, right? And that senses becoming alive starts making me feel like I'm connected with the universe whenever I look at beautiful art or contemplate an ant crawling on a tree in the woods, you know. And a lot of people think of Taurus as, and because I do, but a lot of people think of Taurus as like mundane and slow, because it is the sign of the bull, right? And the only thing that seems to rile the bull up is when you get it angry. But why would you want to give this, you know, beast something to be angry about when it just moves in love? It wants to feel its hooves on the earth. It wants to, you know, eat the grass, lie in the grass, feel the sun on its back and on its side, drink water, eat hay, and just exist, right? And that's what Taurus wants to do. I look at this card and I see the Helper card here says the Hierophant, the card of the Hierophant, which is typically the card that represents marriage, relationships. This could be something that affects your relationship status. Whatever this transformation is, whatever this change is, whatever you're putting your money on the line, it really is kind of like you're putting your money where your mouth is, right? But the Hierophant card here, the words are superego, the model of the environment and how the environment affects us. So this could be just even thinking about Earth, how we live on it, how we participate in the practices and how we participate in the environment of the earth. But even then again, when we think about environment, it could be how we move around even in our own world and in our own spaces. This could be something that happens internally. So with this full moon solar eclipse in Taurus, this could be something that is internally how you're changing, right? And it could be a quick change. So I want to go, okay, since I'm in it, since I'm already deep in it, I want to go ahead and just take a look. I'm pulling out the Moonology Oracle Cards deck, and I want to look up. Let's see, we've got new moon. Okay, no. I want to see full moon Taurus. Full moon eclipse. Yep, pulling that card out. Interesting. Okay, no. Sorry, as you can see, I just got like, bam, hit with it, like, oh, wow. And look. Now, again, like I said, the North Node is in Taurus. North Node, we are being asked to step out of our comfort zones. This is like, it's almost like being asked, like if you know a little bit more about astrology than I do, the sense that I'm getting here is that you are being asked to really stop living in your South Node. And for me, my South Node is in Aries. And Aries is definitely hyper independent, someone who likes to do things on their own, doesn't like to wait for others. And of course, my North Node is in Libra, but my Libra is in my 12th house, which means I work better when I co-create with spirit. So I actually, I don't even work well. It's not so much that I'm interpreting it that I don't work well with people, but I'm not supposed to work for people directly. I'm supposed to work for people by serving spirit. And that's what I'm doing. So we got the North Node card. I'll just keep that out to the side. Let's see, blue moon. I promise you I'm getting there. I know it's coming. It's the full moon in Taurus card. Here we go. Your dreams need a practical plan. And look at that. Your dreams need a practical plan and conclusions are within reach. Look at that. But you have to step out of your comfort zone because we are in the North Node. That Taurus sign is in the North Node. This Eight of Wands is basically like, look, we weren't going to give it to you until you knew what it is that you needed to do. We wanted you to have a solid plan. We wanted you to have faith. We wanted you to believe in something rather than just go off willy-nilly. So we sent the message, but we sent it by like, what's the slowest mail? We sent it by boat around the world. No, I mean, not on water, but like basically, or even like I'm trying to put it in terms of fire element, but like we sent it by burning it we sent it from the very reach, the core of the earth, so that it would be delivered to you by volcano. Because that's what this whole reading is giving, is volcano. It's an eruption. And it's so funny because I'm just thinking about a dream that I had about this similar thing where you're just in the woods and everything just explodes. Like the ground just comes out beneath you and the world just starts like reinventing itself. Not that I'm saying that there's going to be like some sort of volcano or something. What I'm saying is that this change is going to feel like something new grows under your feet almost instantly, but it's something that you needed. Something that you needed. Okay. So let's go ahead and read these cards. So I think you can see those. Yeah, I think those are readable. So your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. The full moon eclipse means that conclusions are within reach. The other thing is you might want to do is pull up your birth chart on, I think it's astro.com, AstroSeek, Cafe Astrology. I'll put the link in the description. But pull up your birth chart and see where Taurus is. Like where, even if you don't have planets in the house that Taurus is connected to, look at the house information and what it means to have Taurus in that house. And not only that, read about Taurus and the house independently to find out more about how it could really show up in your life with this full moon. Okay? For me, it's in my 7th house. I'll just be honest. So it's about relationships. And I'm like, what? What else do you want, Spirit? Like, I don't even understand what you're... I don't even understand why. Like, why? I don't... Anyway, I won't say anything else. I'm reading for my viewers. Okay, so full moon in Taurus. Let's look it up. Here we go. Your dreams need a practical plan. Sometimes you need to weave a bit of magic, and sometimes you need to be practical. And sometimes you need to find a combination of the two. This card suggests that this is where you are now. You need to use the laws of attraction to draw in what you want. Laws of attraction, putting your money where your mouth is, putting your faith and your actions behind it, right? With the Hierophant and the Taurus. By imagining it, okay, you need to use the laws of attraction to draw in what you want by imagining it, expecting it, and welcoming it. But you need to balance that with taking down-to-earth steps toward your goals. This isn't about wishing on the moon and hoping for the best. It's about making something like a list of bullet points about how to achieve your dreams. If you're asking about money, this card heralds a change of financial fortunes depending on both your past actions and what you're expecting and therefore attracting. Again, putting all your money and your coins on the table in order to get something. To attune to the moon, and this is where I say, use a journal. Write down 10 things that you know are wonderful about you. Additional meanings for this card. Laziness could explain your current situation. If so, change that and own it. Chasing money doesn't work. You need to chase a dream. Jealousy or envy create negative energy and attract negativity, or more exercise is called for. The full moon in Taurus is a time to get back to earth. Get back to earth. To get grounded, to work through any negative feelings you've been dealing with, and to find a balance between being passionate and being overly intense. Money issues may come to a head at the time of the full moon in Taurus, but you can take this card as a sign to pay more attention to your cash flow no matter when you draw it. Perfect. Okay, so let's look at conclusions are within reach, the full moon eclipse. Just to give this card a little bit of extra oomph, you know? Full moon eclipse. Okay, special moon, full moon eclipse. Here we go. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. And just like that, a door slams shut. If you've pulled this card, it suggests that the situation you're asking about is about to reach a peak or has just done so, and things are now out of your hands. What you're experiencing now is what your soul signed up for, a way for you to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time, as hard as it might be. Forgiving someone for what they did could be key to resolving the situation in a positive way. It doesn't make right what they did, but it releases so you can move on. To attune to the moon, that which is meant for me will not pass me by. And I think that's what this Eight of Wands is saying. And I'm going to pull it a little bit closer because I think the glare might actually mess it up a little bit. But as you can see, it's a woman riding in on a snail. I'm so sorry for the plane noise. I think they've switched patterns and they've gotten a little bit closer for comfort. Anyway, so you can see here that the woman is basically riding on top of a snail and delivering the news. And it's like, it's kind of like, it's being built for you, this, whatever this is. Spirit took its time putting it together. So whatever it is, it's moving so slowly, it cannot miss you, right? It's not that it's going, not that you're going slowly too, but it knows where it's going and it knows how to get to you, and it knows it can switch direction very quickly to get to you. Okay? Additional meanings for this card. Doors which slam shut now will not reopen. It's time for you to get back on track. Forgiveness will set you free of karma. Meditation, pranayama, and yoga nidra are all recommended now. Cede control and let events unfold. And you know what? I think of something that I recently heard that's kind of living in the back of my mind right now. I think it was one of my favorite astrologers also on YouTube that I follow. They said, don't get in the way of karma. Like, don't get in the way of karma. So if what you're asking for here is for someone or something for basically, it's kind of a mix here. It's kind of like, you know what? If you wished for karma to come to somebody, it's time to like use the law of attraction to disconnect from the outcome and just be like, you know what? I'm going to step out of the way because my wishing for this is just getting in the way of it happening. So I'm just going to go ahead and live my life without all the concessions and everything like that were put in place, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to let this happen. I'm not going to, it's basically you saying, I'm not going to get in the way of karma anymore. And so in this instance, it's almost as if forgiveness is like, ancestors, spirit, universe, have your way with whatever this person or the situation is. Because I'm putting my coins on my boundaries, on my peace, on my self-acceptance. That's where I'm putting my coins, right? And I'm going to let universe do whatever it needs to do. That's could even be the very simplest message of this reading. But I'm going to continue finishing reading out this card. Full moons are nearly always about climaxes and very often about conclusions. Full moon eclipses are the same, but on steroids. A full moon eclipse can be hard to handle because it portends change, something many of us are uncomfortable with. But the change is a part of life, and this card, no matter when you pull it, reminds you of that fact. Full moon eclipses can also give us a glimpse of what Carl Jung called the shadow self. Work with your darkness. And having said that, as a shadow work practitioner, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. And of course, again, as someone who's a Scorpio rising, and I know now here's the thing. I'm Scorpio rising, which means that my natal chart, my birth chart, is led by the planet of Pluto. Pluto, yes, is a planet. Maybe not a planet anymore, depending on who you ask. But Pluto is also the sign of, Pluto is like the underworld, dreams, things in the shadow, right? things that are hidden from us. Now, Pluto is also the ruler of the sign of, no, I've got it confused because they're both P's, but I'm looking at the Pisces represented here in the moon, and Pisces is also the house ruler of the 12th house, which is also about the underworld and things like that. So it could be some sort of limitation or even a new opening in the dream world, in the shadow, things that we don't see often but need to see often. Something is being brought into the light with this full moon solar eclipse. Okay? So here's the thing. I am not going to give any guidance. I am just going to start opening up my books for shadow work sessions. And if you're interested, check out my website. And basically the way it works is that you contact me, we come up with a good time, and we meet at that time. I will send you the link and all that good stuff. You'll send the payment, and we'll have a session. And it's all meditative based. It's really, you're just getting in touch with the sides of yourself that are asking to be integrated, asking to be brought to the light, right? So yeah, I'm not going to give any guidance in this reading because I would like to hear in the comments what your experience has been. I would like to, I really like talking about this stuff, and it means a lot if people are able to share their experience. So based off of this reading, I'd love to hear how you all are experiencing this full moon in Taurus, full moon eclipse. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye.